So it's been quite a while since I've done an update on the hives. Uh, so we've got a number of them going this year. Um, Started out in the larger brown hive here with a package at the beginning of the year, as well as in this gray hive, which is insulated with sheep's wool. It's a little bit different style than we did last year. Uh, have since split the colony from this big brown one into this yellow and brown one. I put some over in this smaller box as well as over into this box. And actually, even tried moving some stuff into this second uh, of the new style. Still waiting to see how that turns out. But all of the hives seem to be doing all right. There's a fair amount of traffic, which you can see a little bit coming and going from the original hive. This next one here has quite a bit of traffic as the bees come and go. And here, obviously, we have a lot of traffic. This hive is really doing well. A lot of building out inside, lots of honey. I'm really hoping that maybe this style will help me overwinter some this year, since we lost all of them last year. I'm hoping that this one, which does not yet have a laying queen in it, will, when the queen hatches, I'm hoping she picks up at a nice pace. And if not, we'll move a couple of the honeycomb out of this one over into the empty one to help give them a jump start. And then this one was a little bit of a Hail Mary. There's a little bit of activity there. It's got a lot of empty honeycomb from last year in it, so I think once we get a laying queen, she should go pretty well. I'm just a little worried that we're getting late in the year for both this one as well as this one to be creating new queens. From the time that a new queen hatches and mates, you're really talking almost a month before you have offspring that can go forage, collect nectar, and actually fill the honeycomb for the winter. So I will be curious to see if we have any success. But I think I might try and build a couple more of this insulated style. I just really like the way that it's easy to work, and the bees seem to be doing real well in it. And I do, of course, still have a couple of the old style from last year. I did actually sell several of them that I had from last year. I think I had 5 in total at one point, so I've built and sold a couple of them. Built a couple just to sell as well. But if anything, maybe we'll be able to get some honey from them. Hopefully we can get 1 or 2 of them to overwinter. And I guess go from there. It's pretty common to have losses, so especially because I do not put chemicals into my hives. A lot of people, in order to keep bees over winter, put various treatments for the varroa mite, and I am opting not to chemically treat my hives. I really just don't want that in the wax or in the honey that I might try and pull out of there. Some of the chemicals you put in there, you actually can't have honey frames in there when you put them in, so that's kind of a essence of how strong it really is. And I'm trying to avoid it, and by avoiding it I may end up with higher losses than normal, but it will be worth it if I can get some good genetics that overwinter without the chemical treatments, because once I have those, hopefully then I am on the path to never needing to do a treatment. Big difference between last year and this year as well is that this year I am doing next to no feeding. So last year we gave them lots and lots of sugar syrup, which is a white granulated sugar mixed with water, approximately 1 part to 1 part. Bees don't necessarily prefer that, but it does help them when they have to build out in a short order, rather than going to find all the nectar to build all the honeycomb and everything. They can actually just use the sugar water, which is right in the hive. And then they also, once the comb is built, they will store it as if it were honey. This year I am not doing that. I haven't done that with any of the hives, with the exception of this one right here. I've got 2 quarts of it in there, and the bees actually are not taking it. So kind of excited. That means that there's enough nectar in the local environment that they're not short. But I do think I may continue to feed this one just to help them build out, because this is virtually an empty box inside. But what that means is that if and when I harvest honey this year, it will be true honey from the flowers, the trees, etc. I won't be getting any sugar syrup, if you will, or sugar honey. So hopefully that means by the end of this season, if I am able to harvest any of it, or definitely in spring, if I clean out any that maybe didn't make it through the winter, I most definitely will be able to have some actual honey that I could probably try and bottle and sell. So, very interesting. Thinking about trying to find another location to put a couple of hives, either move some of these or additional ones for next year. Just something, looking for a farm field or a fence row or something where I know that they'll get a lot of sun. All of ours are in the shade here, and I've witnessed the difference between a box like the one I'm looking at here in the sun versus in the shade, and there's a considerable difference of how much they build out just being woken up, if you will, by the sun in the morning. Having the sun warm the box gets them active that much earlier. And it's an incredible amount of difference. So in addition to having these ones here, I'm really hoping that maybe I can get a couple, 2 or 3 of this style placed out somewhere else where they'll get more sun. Plus, we have 6 here within our property. The neighbors have some up the road. The neighbor down the road has one, possibly 2 by the end of this summer. So don't want to overdo the area here with the number of bees that it can successfully support either. So if I could find something a few miles away, that would be another plus. But just a brief update on how they're doing for those that were more familiar with my regular updates last year. I just have not had the ability to have someone videotaping while I've gone through the hives this year. See if I can maybe come up with an alternate solution as to how to get videotaping as I go through them, because I would love to show what's going on inside these boxes. It's really something. It's really crazy to see. Each, like this box right here may have 20 or 30,000 bees, maybe even more, inside of it when you open it up, and that's really something to see. So, all right, until my next update, take care.